Hey, do you remember when Liam Neeson said that he had retired from making action movies?
Well, I just thought he meant physically. And
Well,
this
yeah.
movie is proof.
Well, that's true. I was going to say that was about what 5 announcements ago and 15 films ago.
Yeah, I mean this whole movie that we're talking about, which is Blacklight. We should probably just say that up front. I know you probably got an intro prepared,
That's all right.
but I'm going to ruin it for you. But this movie, Blacklight, the whole movie is like watching that scene in oh fuck, now I've forgotten the name. That Martin Scorsese film where Robert De Niro beats up the greengrocer, and you're like, "Geez, Robert De Niro's gotten old." What is it?
Oh,
The Irishman. The
that's
Irishman.
right. Yeah, the new one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So,
like
so
that. The whole movie is like that scene.
thanks for like ruining the intro with a brain fart.
Yeah. Well, do you want to start again? We can start again.
No, I don't.
No?
That's what makes these videos so fun. But hello to everybody watching. It's Glenn and Ben here from the Good Movie Monday podcast, doing one of our reaction videos to the new Liam Neeson movie Blacklight, which a lot of the distributors and reps come to me thinking they're going to get a good review out of me because I'm pretty lenient with movies. I tolerate
shit
some.
movies. It's
I do.
well known.
I do, but that's not what they're going to get from me from this one. This was a load of shit. This was low rent DTV drivel.
Yeah, I mean, look, yeah, look.
Finally.
I have to say, like, there wasn't a point in the movie where I rolled my eyes into the back of my head and wanted to stop watching it, which has happened with a couple of the films that you've asked me to watch. That our good friends at Eagle Entertainment have released, maybe.
Which I do genuinely like most of the time.
You do like. I didn't think it was that bad. It was just very light. It was trying to follow the exact same formula as something like Taken, which rejuvenated Liam Neeson's career, but super light, missing on all of the parts that actually made Taken good.
Isn't it funny where it actually sort of blatantly stuck to all the tropes and all the cliches was actually in the supposedly dramatic stuff. It was the dialogue, and it was like just so by the book, and particularly like people watching this haven't seen it, but there's a scene where they're in a newsroom. It's a newspaper newsroom, and there's this like other lady, like the lady that just keeps coming in and out with like, "Oh, I've got something for you," and her lines were taken from like every other movie you can imagine in a newsroom, but they're not even good lines.
Yeah. No.
Oh, she says, "Oh, I found a photo of that guy you're looking for. He's kind of hot."
Yeah. Like a sweaty, drug addicted psycho who also happens to be like a very good looking Hollywood actor. But
that's right.
Forget about the psycho overtones.
And the biggest point of reference for this one, for Melburnians in particular, is it was made in Melbourne. So this is that movie that Liam Neeson was making back when they announced that Liam Neeson is in Noble Park in some play centre, shooting scenes and all that. And everyone's like, ooh. But it's like when Hollywood is making a movie in Melbourne that's set in LA or, an American city, that it's not going to be very good.
I think Washington, D.C. in this case.
Oh, yeah, I know. But it's just not going to be very good from our perspective because it's just full of gum trees and fucking road signs that are wrong.
It's a lot of that stuff, which, I mean, that stuff, funnily enough, I didn't pick it up in this. Yeah. I didn't do any research on the film prior.
I did.
And that stuff didn't bother me. It was just so light. Like, even the part, like the opening little introductory bit to Liam Neeson's character, and he plays an FBI troubleshooter. An off-the-books troubleshooter.
He gets you out of situations.
He specializes in getting deep cover operatives out of trouble. Yep. Why you need to be off the books to do that is beyond me. But okay, that's his job. And he rescues this woman from a trailer park where it's surrounded by angry hillbillies who think she's a spy, which of course she is.
Yeah.
And they've tripped on one of her like mics, which she's rigged up around the trailer park. And so he blows up a boat and a trailer to create a distraction to get her away. And when she's leaving, she looks at him and she's like, subtle. Like 5 seconds ago, he was out of her fucking tits. terrified, and then
Yeah, it was like, do whatever you can to get me out of here.
out of here. And then when he does, you're like, oh, that was subtle. Like,
Yeah.
and yet they're getting at it. Like, it's so like some of those things are just ridiculous, and that is a theme that follows through on the film. Like even the whole point, and it's traditional in these kind of movies that Liam Neeson is, he's an off the books fixer, and he's an old man. He's clearly well past his retirement age, and he wants to. And Aidan Quinn is his boss.
He's looking worse for wears.
He's looking pretty Aidan Quinn these days. He's clearly past retirement age, and he wants to basically retire. And Aidan Quinn's like, no, you can't do it. No. And you're like, why? There is no godly reason, considering that Aidan Quinn has other black ops operatives willing to do shit for him, that he wouldn't just go, yeah, you're right. Because he literally would have, like 5 minutes prior in the movie, he chastised him for, slipping up because, he's getting old. Like, why wouldn't he just let him retire? Like, yeah, all right. Fucking retire. I've got like young new guys who are willing to do even more bad shit for me. Like, it's so ridiculous.
It's another example of when you've got no budget as well. Like in my mind, I was just going to the next thing I was going to say. The action sequences in the city, particularly, if you pay attention to these, every corner that they go around in these trucks or cars, you can see like the witches' hats and shit holding the public back.
Yeah.
Like there's no effort made in this movie, not only script wise, but just in production, to conceal the fact that it's a movie. Like,
yeah, it is a shame. Look, I have to feel like I enjoyed. I'm trying to look. Cold Pursuit, I thought was all right. Widows, I enjoyed. The Commuter, sure.
Well, no, the thing is, this is what I was gonna. You bring up a good point. I'll just interrupt you for one moment. I don't think Liam Neeson's washed up yet. He is making some Drek, but he's still making some good quality stuff. But this
Ice Road, I thought Ice Road was good.
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of like that one too. But it's also, I found that was more like the first step of a trajectory.
He's going the Bruce Willis route now.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna, I'm gay for pay.
Yeah, and like you said,
my IRS bill.
Taken was kind of the it's the double-edged sword there, because that was a great film that really put him back on the map in a really forceful way, but it's also the movie that he's been pigeonholed into redoing in all kinds of manner. And this is this reminded me of that Brian Trenchard Smith movie Drive Hard. It's that caliber of film, which if I'm going into it knowing it's that caliber of film, that it's made for DVD, I'm way more forgiving. But this is a theatrical release, and this is being touted as something a bit more important. It's not.
Well, that's it. Like the best thing to happen to Liam Neeson's career in the last 20 years was Taken. The worst thing to happen to his career was Taken 2. Like he was doing, that's where it started going downhill. And because I enjoyed the idea of Taken 2 and then Taken 3, which I admit, Taken 3 would have been a far superior film had they not had to replace what's his name, Xavier, whatever his name is, with the original Wolverine, who was never Wolverine.
Yeah, I've forgotten his name. But anyway, I get what you're saying.
Xavier, he's the president in 24 and stuff. Dougray Scott. They replaced the Xavier. We should remember what his name is, but he's in like, if you go back to the 80s, especially dodgy 80s action movies, this guy is always in it, usually playing an asshole. He's great, and he would have been perfect had he been able to continue playing the Stuart Famke Janssen's husband role.
Yeah.
But even he had his loser. I'm not doing this.
But even like back to Blacklight for a second, because we'll wrap it up in a minute. It's not really worth our time. But how quickly did they wrap it all up at the end? Like, we won't give away the finale or anything, but Jesus, it's like, oh, okay, that's it. How
Xander
convenient.
Berkeley. That's his name, Xander Berkeley.
Stuck on it.
Yeah, you're right. It is one of those movies that you check the clock on when you're watching it, and you're like, oh, an hour and 10 minutes has gone past, but it's like I feel like this is still they haven't they haven't taken that turn in Act 2 yet. They haven't even started Act 3. And then they're like, oh no, it's like a Dinar Koontz novel where you're like, that's done. Oh, is that the end? Okay.
Ding, ding.
Oh, there goes my mic. 100%. There's a weird one.
Yeah, it is a weird one, but I certainly would not trek to the cinemas to watch this if I had a choice. But I'd probably catch it on streaming and turn it off halfway through.
Definitely. So yeah, look, for me, definitely a streaming. Like if this was on Amazon Prime, I'd be more than happy to watch it. And afterwards, I'd be like, oh yeah. And then if you ask me about it 3 months later, I'd be like, I don't think I've seen it. And then as you would go, oh no, it's the one with this. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I have seen that one.
And Liam Neeson is certainly above this kind of movie.
He is, but like I said at the start, he's getting older. He's like the action sequences in this that don't involve like the physical stuff. It's getting pretty hard to watch.
I thought that Made in Italy was like a start of a turn where he's going to enter that old age phase where he's doing all these softer movies for the grandparents and stuff like that, which I would have been thrilled for him to do. Maybe there is still time, so he should do that.
I thought he was going to get into that. Was it Entourage or what was the kind of the comedy movies that he does now, where he plays a parody of himself? Like I thought that's where he was.
Was that like the extras and stuff like that?
Yeah, and Ted, I think Ted 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, where he basically plays himself, and not Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
But as you know, I do have like a trilogy treatment for a senior citizens nursing home series of movies that I am intending to write. Maybe I can approach him for that.
No, look, as long as that hair dye still works, he's not taking those roles for a while. I think he'd be 100% suited for him. I just don't reckon he would take it. He's like in his own head. He's like, I'm still in my 50s.
Well, he'd get to fight Japanese zombies. Everyone.
I mean, how old? Yeah, well, that is what. I mean, how old is he? Does it have he's born in 52. So is he still in his 50s? No, he's in his 70s. He's literally 70 years old this year.
I know. He wakes up and he's looking for the TV remote and he's like, I will find you.
And I will.
I've had enough, mate. All right. We'll see you on the next video.
All right.
See you, everyone.